This keyboard seriously tested some of my spatial reasoning abilities while doing this build. I messed it up multiple times, but it sounds freaking amazing. This is the first custom keyboard kit that I built that was actually sent to me, the prototype, and this launched January 1st, 2021. We're gonna jump to the typing test first and then talk about the build. Typing tests right now. Hey guys, this is Betty from Switch and Click, and this keyboard is the Gen 1 Eclipse 65%. It's top mounted. It's got two parts to the case, a top case, a bottom case, a brass plate, and a PCB. And we'll talk about everything that came in the box soon. But I built this with the Glorious Pandas that were lubed with Tribosys 3203. Had some stabilizers laying around, and I got some EPBT white on black keycaps to match with it, and I gotta say it looks pretty clean and it sounds pretty good. Super fun build. Let's jump into what's in the kit. Alright, so the kit has a lot of different pieces. It came to me in a really big box, but it has the top case, which for me this is red. It comes in 3 different colors that you can pick from: red, blue, or silver. No matter what you pick, it's gonna look pretty good paired with the black bottom case. And the bottom case has this hole in it, I guess, for something. I can see it being used for like routing your mouse wire or something like that. Other than that, I really think it's just a stylistic addition. You get the brass plate, and it is coated in mineral oil to prevent oxidation. I did wipe some of it off with like a paper towel or something, but it's there and it is preventing it from being oxidized, so that's cool. You get all the screws with a hex wrench thing as well, so you're not gonna need to get your own screwdriver kit and then go here and then do all that stuff. Everything is included. You get the PCB, of course, and you get your rubber bump-ons. You do get extra bump-ons and screws too, just in case you might misplace one. But it didn't come with any instructions, but good thing for us, I sort of have an idea of how to put a top mount together, and that's when the PCB attaches to the plate and then the plate attaches to the top case. So what do you need to buy yourself when you buy this kit? You'll need to add switches, stabilizers, and keycaps. And if you want to do any mods like foam inside the case or lubing your stabilizers or your switches, you're gonna have to have all that equipment already, as well as a soldering iron, because this is a solder only build. So the build process was actually pretty easy. While I was demonstrating the cases, I flipped the top case because it fits whether it's forwards or backwards. But what you want to look for when building this is making sure the USB-C port is aligned with the front case and the bottom case, and I made that mistake after putting my plate on, so don't be like me. This thing is pretty clean. It's hefty, it's heavy, it's got really intense angles everywhere. From the front, it's really clean as well. I chose black keycaps because I thought that would look really good with the black bottom, and the brass plate shines through as well, so it looks really nice. I did mod some stabilizers using just some spare stabilizers I had around because they come with different kits and stuff. So they weren't anything special. They weren't any special stabilizers or anything, but I did clip them and lube them, and they sound surprisingly really good. You've heard that sound test before, but I'll show you the stabilizers right now. So pretty clean. You're gonna need 4 sets of stabilizers, 3 2U stabilizers, and 1 6.25U. So get that. One of the issues that I had while building this compared to other top mounts is that there weren't any standoffs included between the PCB and the plate, and that made it so I had to like hold the plate a switch distance apart while putting them in, and sometimes the plate would like bend a little. If standoffs were there, that wouldn't have been as hard, but overall the fit was very nice. The switches just popped in really easily, and I didn't have many plate bending problems like I would if it was a softer plate material. It's a fixed ANSI layout, so you can't do a split spacebar or split backspace or a stepped caps lock or any of those modifications. It is what it is. Alongside that, it's also a fixed layout, so it's not QMK or VIA compatible. Let me get that sheet. So the layout of the keyboard is in the sheet that they give you, and it tells you the secondary layer as well. One of the issues I have here is that the delete is on a secondary layer, and it's FN and backspace is for delete actually, so it's not too bad. It's just not what I'm used to when I delete things. I like pressing that top right button specifically. But let's jump into the back, shall we? Alright, so the back of the Gen 1 Eclipse has 4 rubber bump-ons. The front 2 are smaller than the bottom 2. It's also got 4 screws here connecting the bottom case to the top case. And it's got 4 screws on the top as well. You got your USB-C port here directly in the middle, and it's cut out pretty nicely where it's gonna fit your custom cables. I've been using a TES E-series coil cable with this, the red and black one, and it looks clean looking. You have this stylistic divot here, this cylindrical curve. I said you could route cables through it, but I'm not sure why you would, so it's a mystery to me, but I think it looks cool, especially from the side, especially since the keyboard is named the Eclipse board, so I guess there's a little stylistic design there with the Eclipse. Also on the top right of the board, you have the Eclipse logo here as well, looking really nice. I believe the board has a 7-degree typing angle, and it's quite pleasant to type on. It's really chunky. There's no flex whatsoever. This thing is not going to break on you. The tolerances between the top case and the bottom case were a perfect fit. There was no room to wiggle or wobble or do anything, especially once those hex screws were put in. There was no moving that thing out of there. From the front, it looks as if there's just one color case, and that's red. You can see that the bezels of the case are sort of thick. It looks really nice to the eyes. When typing, it gets a little strange, but it's still pretty comfortable. If you want to rest your thumbs on like the case or something instead of on the spacebar, you can do that. And I've never had a keyboard where I could rest my thumbs here before, but it's pretty convenient. The keycaps are sitting like right above where that top case is ending, so you can sort of see a little bit of what's under the keycaps and a little bit of the switches, but not really. There's not really any floating keycap design here. And the brass plate is nice and shiny that you can see as well. And the whole aesthetic just looks very put together, sort of very like Flash-esque. If you watch The Flash, which I really like because he's one of my favorite superheroes. As far as keycaps go, it is a pretty standard 65% board, nothing out of the ordinary. 1.75U right shift, 1U mods on the bottom, and then on the far right column you have home, page up, page down, and end. To those of you who skipped the beginning of the video, we're going to do a second typing test right now, but if you skipped it, you know, why'd you skip it? Let's jump into the typing test. What's the verdict on about this board. It's super unique. It looks really nice with all of the edges, the curves, the bezels. The overall look is really good, and the build itself was super easy. It took me like 2 hours to do it. I had my switches already lubed from the get-go, so that saved a bit of time. The only downside I would say to this board is probably this. And this being that it's a fixed layout with fixed layers, that there's just no software integrated into the board that you can change it to what you want or remap your keys. Of course, you can download things like sharp keys, like carabiner, but that's not built into the board and is stuck on your computer and won't travel with the board from PC to PC if you're doing that. But this thing's so heavy, I doubt you're gonna be doing that. Overall, I really do like it. The look is really nice. It's unique. Not one of those brick looking boards like the Tofu 65 or the KBD 75. It's definitely different, and I've never had a custom kit where it's designed after a certain theme like this. So I think that's really awesome. If you're interested in checking out the Gen 1 Eclipse, check out the link down below at gen1merch.com. I believe it's about $300 right now. The group buy will go until the last day of February of this year, so be on the lookout for that. It's a really good board. In fact, we're using it here in our studio computer right now, and this thing looks fine. Ooh, I think I figured out the use for this like back thing. You can hold your keyboard up like this really easily. Wow, fancy. Instead of having to hold it like this. That is pretty nice. Okay, that was off topic. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you check out this kit at the link down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!